Well, with this trial due to get underway in just under a month, at today's hearing, those not guilty pleas were entered on behalf of the 18-year-old suspect because when the allegations were put to him, when the counts were read out in court, he didn't speak. Now, he was appearing via video link from Belmarsh Prison where he's being held ahead of the trial. So the audio connections were checked. The judge said that he was confident that Axel Rudakubana could hear what was going on and that if he didn't respond to the allegations, then not guilty pleas would be entered on his behalf. And that is what happened, because as that long list of allegations was formally put to him, Axel Rudakubana remained silent. Among those allegations are 3 murder counts relating to the 3 young children, Alice, Bebe and Elsie, who were killed in the knife attack in Southport in the summer. Also attempted murder counts relating to 8 other children and 2 adults. Now, every time he's appeared previously, the 18-year-old has kept his sweatshirt pulled right up over his face. But this time we could see him and he seemed to be swaying from side to side as the allegations were read out. And watching this in the public gallery were the families of some of the victims. At the trial, which is due to begin towards the end of January, he will face allegations of murder, attempted murder, and also a terror offence and production of the biotoxin ricin. We were told today the trial is likely to last about 4 weeks.
Claire, thanks very much. Now, a review of the way police dealt with the summer riots, which followed those Southport murders, has said forces failed to grasp the threat of far-right disorder beforehand and underestimated the scale of the violence once it started. His Majesty's Inspectorate of Constabulary's report said that police should have been better prepared after a number of earlier attacks on asylum seeker hotels and violent far-right demonstrations. Here's Claire Fallon again.
It started in Southport, on a street outside a mosque. It was the school summer holidays. A day earlier, in the same town, 3 children had been killed in a knife attack. Police were totally outnumbered, pelted with petrol bombs. Garden walls were knocked down for bricks to use as missiles. From Southport, it spread as violence flared in the following days in more towns and cities. In some places, rioters tried to set fire to hotels where people seeking asylum were staying. A report out today says there was immense bravery, but also gaps in the intelligence and a national response that was too slow. Overall, police were not prepared.
So we saw an awful lot of static lines of police officers who had missiles rained on them. If there would have been more resources there, more police officers there to assist at the right times, certainly we may have seen less officers injured and some of the disorder dealt with more quickly.
The report from His Majesty's Inspectorate of Constabulary reveals a national public order mobilisation plan was activated on August the 7th, more than a week after the deadly knife attack in Southport, and according to the report, it should have happened 5 days earlier. Also, a series of events in the months before the riots were red flags, suggesting the risk of disorder was greater than police believed at the time. The report highlights 11 events involving extreme nationalist sentiment, aggravated activism or serious disorder. In February 2023, almost 18 months before Southport, not far away in Knowsley, there were violent scenes at an asylum seekers hotel. In Rotherham, there was more disorder, and throughout that year, there were other incidents of violence and unrest. This year, in the 4 months before the summer riots, there were 6 events described as precursors, with disorder at multiple protests in London, the stabbing of an army officer near a barracks in Kent, rioting in the Hare Hills area of Leeds, and protests in Rochdale, linked to an incident at Manchester Airport. The report says those events were missed opportunities to better understand the risks and be better prepared.
The two most recent risk assessments that police have made in relation to nationalist-type violence were both put at a low level. So in hindsight, again, that was a mistake. As I mentioned before, the precursor instance to this, that should have really have put police in on more of a front foot around this, and that, I'm sure, would have resulted in an earlier mobilisation.
The events of the summer, the rioting and unrest was on a scale we've not seen in well over a decade. With changes in society and technology, the stark warning in today's report is that lessons will need to be learned and acted on much more quickly this time.